What happens when the people who keep a nation's economy moving begin fearing of their own security? And what does it say about the country when a truck driver carrying goods across the thousands of kilometers across their borders also have to carry the burden of the racial abuse? That is the uncomfortable question Australia is now confronting. In a significant public statement, Australia's Home Affairs Minister has made a huge statement. He has acknowledged the growing reports of racism targeting Indian origin truck drivers, from the racial slurs over to the Sabi radio to the verbal harassment and even alleged death threats. And the government admits that the problem is real. This is no longer just about the isolated incidents. It is now more about the test of how Australia protects its own fastest growing migrant community. Mr. Tony says that the government is responding to two fronts. First, the location. Second, the message that is sent to the nation. Now that changes almost the whole rhetoric between the two countries and their people, because the government do not often link the political language with everyday discrimination so directly. The Home Affairs Minister revealed that Australia has established the dedicated migrant work support centres in every city capital, and these centres are designed to help migrant workers to report the exploitation, abuse, especially those who may be afraid of approaching government agencies directly because of the visa concerns. However, the government has gone a step further. Mr. Tony confirmed that the visa protection has prevented employers from threatening the migrant workers with the visa cancellation simply because they reports exploitation. For thousands of temporary visa holders, that could be a major shift. Fear has long been one of the biggest barriers in the reporting of the abuse. Now, the government now says that the fear must end. Perhaps the strongest part of Burke's message was not about policy. It was more about politics. He often criticized political rhetoric that, according to him, that encouraged division and the hostility towards the Indian community. While he did not name specific individuals, he argued what the spoken words and the public leaders can shape the behavior on the streets. That is unusually direct admission from a senior government minister. And yet, there is another layer to this story. The timing is significant. India and Australia have been strengthening their strategic partnerships, their trade across, education, defense, and tech. And at the same time, the Indian community has become one of Australia's largest and most influential migrant population. That makes the issue even more larger than just the domestic politics. It has also touched the diplomacy, the multiculturalism, and Australia's global image. Tony Burke's Australia is a monocultural nation, and he says that it can thrive together, but hatred has no place in the future. And whether these new protections reduce the racism on the ground, well, it remains to be seen. But one thing is clear now, that Canberra has publicly acknowledged the problem. It supports its Indian individuals, and the words are taken into action.